Level Up Latina partners with working women and mamas alike to guide them in achieving fulfilling career and life goals through financial empowerment, professional or leadership coaching, and personal wellness. Find the unique coaching you need to succeed.
You're listening to Vero, Ceci, and Irene, and we are Level Up Latina.
Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Latina podcast. This is episode 210, and we are coming down to the wire of our summer series. We hope that you've enjoyed catching up with us. Quick and short, sweet episodes about childhood memories, about stress, about our relationship, about brands that we hope will sponsor us. You never know. Maybe they'll jump on for this one at episode 210. But it's been a really good series. We're going to wrap this one talking a little bit on careers and how to keep your career going and how to focus in on your career, even though it's summertime and it can be distracting sometimes to be in work mode and to be, taking advantage of that summertime. So we're going to think of some tips and tricks for you to focus on, reinvigorating your career over the summer and not getting burnt out when a lot of people are, or not getting distracted by the shiny stuff wherever you may be. So before that, how are we feeling? It's a late night for us. We've been cranking out summer series shows so that we can get a bit of a summer and a bit of a break. But how are you, Vero and Ceci?
I am feeling good. I was just making sure my kids went to bed, but they're having a good time with grandma. Y abuelita, mamá Josefina los deja ver películas, and that really means that they just told her they're going to watch a movie, and she was like, cool, do it. So I'm good. I'm excited to be here with you ladies and share our knowledge and our little experiences and what we think have helped us power through on the summers, and just to be here with you too. Las quiero un chingo.
Igual, es así.
Igual, las quiero. I'm good. Estoy un poquito cansadita, but proud of myself, and it has to do with work because, ahorita les cuento, pero yeah, just, wrapping up the week and getting ready to go on a break. So, aquí estoy, te digo ya, cansadita. Después de esto, I'm going to go wash my face and get ready for bed. Well, who am I kidding? I'm probably going to binge watch something on Netflix y luego me duermo.
Me voy a echar una serie y después descanso. Dice Ceci.
For real, that's funny. You're saying just 10 episodes y luego. No, but Ceci is going on vacay, so I'm sure that she powered through. And speaking of summer, we practice what we preach. She probably monopolized in the last week and really got herself going to set herself up to go on her break. But we can really start anywhere if you want to share that, Ceci, or really we can go anywhere with this conversation. But quick tips for getting your career to be what it needs to be, even through those periods of time that might feel like dead time or just different and transition, but what to do with your summer and how to reinvigorate your career. Ceci, did you want to share a story about that? It sounds like you were maxing out and you're proud of yourself.
Yeah, I mean, so we were talking about going on break and whatnot, and so you plan a vacation. And in my case, it's going to be like a 2-week vacation, and you plan it. It's far ahead, pero te llega de la nada. It's happening or whatnot. But I feel like this last week I was like, all right, powering through it. Oh my God, this is happening. I need to finish a couple things. I had an intern. I have a summer intern, and she started like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, well, she needs to stay busy, right? She needs to stay busy while I'm gone. And so figuring out projects for her. And this week was a little bit of a roller coaster, like as I was mentioning to you ladies off air, because like my mom has more appointments that I had, my siblings and I had to kind of share the responsibility to take her. So that it was weird because it was like Monday, I took time off and it was a little longer than expected. Tuesday I was in office and chinga todo el día. My day went really fast, but again, I'm like, planning for this vacay. And then Wednesday, también, like I took it off to go to my daughter's graduations, and then today's Thursday. Yeah, today's Thursday. And today también en chinga todo el día en la oficina, just finalizing because I wanted to take tomorrow off. Like I wanted to just have it off. I'm taking it as a sick day because I'm taking my mom to some appointments. So, but still, I wanted to basically leave today with creating my little agenda / to-do list for my paralegal and my intern so that they had it and give a copy to my ED, who's going to be the supervising attorney while I'm gone. So I wanted to finalize that. The day that I'm back from vacation to work, that's the day that my new staff attorney starts. So I wanted to have an agenda for him already, like for his first week. So I finalized that. So I literally walked out of the office today, closed my laptop, like como se ven en las películas. I closed it, but already having done all those things that I had lined up for myself to do or to finish and have ready for my week back, which is going to be busy as well. And then I also logged in my, click time it's called or whatever, to log in my time for the pay period that I'm not going to be here. Well, I'm not going to be here next week, so I'm not going to be here to lock in my hours. So I did that, and I did something else. Oh, I set up my away message. I'm like, look at me, like on the day. No, last year I remember, like I was at the airport. I'm like, oh shit, my away message, So I did that. I was proud of that. Why? Because I was planning ahead. I knew, I'm like, all right, this is going to happen. We're going to leave on Saturday. Friday's going to be kind of wacky, and I'm not going to be able to work from home. I'm going to leave my work laptop at work so that I don't have to drag it home, all that. So I planned it because I didn't want to feel, sometimes when you leave things unfinished and you go on a trip, you feel kind of guilty and you want to be checking your email and this. And for sure, I was like, okay, I'm not going to check work email. I'm going to take a break, like take a real break. And, but, in order to do that, I had to kind of plan ahead. Yeah, the vacation arrived before we knew it, but then I had this week to, all right, we'll figure it out. More things were added to my plate, but I really wanted to focus, and that's what I did today. So I was proud of myself for doing that. But with that, like you guys were saying, like sometimes, the summer's coming and you get kind of like distracted, and it's so easy to get distracted. I know I've been distracted in the past, like, oh my God, like weeks. I mean, I think it was like when we were planning the vacation, or leading up to it, like looking up restaurants, like I'm supposed to be working, like looking up restaurants, like what are we going to do? What are we going to plan? And it's easy to get distracted when something big is like that, or just the summer vibe that you're feeling there. Like the kids are off, but you still have to show up to work, so it's hard to stay focused. And how do we maintain focus? And I think it's just discipline sometimes, right? Discipline and knowing that, work siempre va a estar ahí, so hay que organizarse and not get distracted. Easier said than done, but I think that's, I guess, my little tip for folks. Like, try to stay disciplined. Summer's around the corner, or summer's here, I guess, and stay disciplined. What do you want to accomplish during your break, or what do you want to get done before you go on break? So that would be my little tip and what I wanted to share.
Your tidbit of the day. And what about you, Vero? I know that you were getting excited when we were thinking about this off air. Like, what would be your best advice for women to work on their career while they are, like Ceci said, a little distracted, a little kind of unfocused? Maybe it's summertime. It's easy to be thinking about a big vacation or weddings or whatever's happening in the summer, but how to stay focused, how to be productive. What would be your best advice?
I think it's a good time to take inventory, because you don't want to wait to the end of the year. I mean, we're in June, month 6. If you just started your job, I mean, hey, it's all good, but don't get distracted. Stay animada to learn and keep learning. The summer kind of feels like that off vibe, that chill vibe. You want to be out with your friends late. It's getting nice again. COVID's gone, so there's that socializing aspect that's coming back around. And some of us have not socialized as much, so you might feel more drained by going out than you would usually expect. So don't overdo it during the week and feel like it's not FOMO if you don't go out 3 times out of the night of the week. If you make it out once, it's okay. But for me, it's more like taking inventory. It's a good time to take inventory, because the next 6 months, by December, the holidays, the holidays start kicking in. Halloween comes around, October comes around, and it's like back-to-back holidays. And then it's, year-end reviews and all these things that are happening. And I think that the summer is a good time to take inventory of your first 6 months. The summer is like a feeling alive kind of moment, because you're just like wanting to go out, wanting to do things. So use that energy to be like, what have I accomplished? What have I done? And stay focused. And what can I do in the next 3 to 4 months to really push me forward to where I want to be? think about that. I think that we lose track of things like, oh, here we go. It's January, and January was long, and February was long, and then March. And then all of a sudden, April, May, June came out of nowhere. And you're like, what did I do? So if you weren't preparing for that vacation and you're just going to hang back and hang loose and just do things and live life and like, out to the, in your local neighborhood or your local area, at least put some focus into what your career is. Like, hey, what have I done? What have I accomplished? Where do I want to be by the end of the year? And if it's not by the end of the year, where do I want to be at least by, next spring or by next June? And that is going to just keep you ahead of the game, because some people will slack off during the summer. You're going to think that it's okay. Everyone's doing it. It's nice out, and it's going to be a really hot summer. I mean, we're in Southern California. I hear it's going to be a hot summer, even though it's going to be gloomy. I'm okay with that because El Nino is coming, and you know what's going to happen in the winter. You're not going to want to go to work. People are not going to show up. So avoid the dreadful coldness and get it done right now in the heat. Stay hot, girls. Stay hot. Stay on top of your shit and figure out what you want before the year closes professionally.
For sure. That's such good advice, Vero. I think, too, it's such a good time, too, when you alluded to this, to like, a lot of people slack off. So it's a good time to shine. It's a good time to take things on in the summer. I had an interesting conversation at work with one of my supervisors who had one of her direct reports saying they wanted to take a little break from doing some speaking at an event, but it was right before a big event. It's a time to shine. Board members will be at this event. I was actually kind of shocked that he didn't want more of a strong role and a presence at this event. I thought, wow, that's actually kind of counterproductive. You might want to let him know. And so she did, but she was super understanding, and we let our teams kind of do what they have the bandwidth to do. But I think summer is such an interesting time because people do want to sort of coast and take a break and maybe do less. But it's such a good time to sort of beat your competition and get ahead and do more, like to really step up. And I'm not saying burn out and like work overtime and not enjoy your summer, but when you see opportunities to shine, and definitely you have the energy and the bandwidth, like shine, shine, shine. Like, don't even think like, well, no, that's not my place. If the place is there and there's a little cachito, a little space for you, like jump in, do the work, shine over the summer. Sometimes in some organizations, like summer can be a slow time, and there's time for innovation and creativity. Like propose new ideas, propose changes. Some people are budgeting in the summer, and they start their budget, in July. So right before the summer, there's a lot of new things happening, and your budget starts in July, and you can be spending money. Others are not yet budgeting, and they don't budget until the end of the year. So summer's a good time to have those conversations, regardless of when your budget starts, about innovation and your ideas and what you want to spend resources on and what you think you can bring and what new things would make your jobs easier, what new systems. In my organization, summer's a time where we clean up a lot of things. So let's stop. Let's pause as an organization, and why are we doing this way? Why are we doing that? Do we need this form? Do we need this process? Do we need this event? We're not just going to do something because we've always done it. Summer is usually a really good time in my career to do that. And I think if you work at a school, it's similar to that. Again, if your budget is, revving up right now, it's a good time to also take inventory, to just not spend money carelessly on things that you've always done. Like you can stop, pause, take the summer lull to reinvent how you do your work, re-energize, reinvigorate your team, or think of new things. I think it's a really good time to think of new things, institute new things, and implement new things. And maybe you roll it out through the fall, through the winter, and then before you know it, it's the new year. You've had 6 months to get everybody aligned to your idea, to your innovation, to the things you want to start. So our advice, really, our tip of the day is don't take it easy. Be like Ceci and be on it. Be like Vero and take stock and inventory and know what you're doing well, so you're ready for your performance review at the end of the year. And be like me and think about what you are doing and say, hey, can we do this a little better? Can we do it different? Where can I shine? Where others are maybe stepping down, you're stepping up. So those are our pieces of advice for how we would focus on, really reinvigorating our career over the summer. My last question, I know it's late and we always do these short and sweet episodes, but this is going to be a fun last question, and it kind of has to do with career. But what was your favorite summer job? What was your favorite summer thing? What summer did you feel that you just did it right, y'all, at work? And you had that summer where, like, this is the best summer ever. Vero has this face. Like, she's like, every summer I'm doing it right at work. Do share. Está comiendo dulce. She's still sucking on those nerds over there. Her, tongue is, purple,
it is
brown,
starting to
red.
bleed. This is sour. I always took on so many jobs during the summer. I loved working. I always really enjoyed working, but I think it was more like the social aspect. Like, where can I meet people? Where can I talk to people? Where can I grow my network? I just really loved working. So any odd job I would pick up. I mean, I've done bail bonds. I did it I work with remember when Hermanas Unidas, we had the car show? And then one of the guys, his dad had like this bail bonds business. He's like, hey, he needs someone to work. And I was like, oh, work. So I always like took on like these odd jobs. But I think one of my favorite jobs was bartending. I wasn't even 21 yet. I was 20 years old. I had come back from my summer in Querétaro. I was in Mexico. I came back in summer. My roommate was like, hey, I started working. I was like, where are you going? She's like, I'm going to work. I'm like, you're working? It was like crazy to me. And she's like, yeah, I started working at a bar. I was like, shut the front door. Where? Get me a job. And she's like, well, you can waitress, but blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I started working at that bar. And that's where we ended up having our hermanas party that year and all that good stuff. But I started, one of the bartenders didn't show up one day. And they're like, the owner goes to me, he goes, hey, he was this cool Jamaican dude. And he goes, hey, do you know how to make a margarita? I was like, yeah. He's like, can you make a rum and can you make this drink? I was like, yeah. Can you make a martini? I'm like, kind of, but I can figure it out. And he's like, get behind the bar. So he asked me about 3 drinks, get behind the bar. And I wasn't even 21. And I started bartending and I loved it. That summer was amazing. I got to see all these like freak shows, like Thursdays and Fridays were like banda night. Then we had like hip hop night. So for banda night, I got to see like all the old groups like Carlos y Jose, Miguel y Miguel. Like it was just so cool. And I would call my parents to the house and be like, Mama, llorando, right? Music that reminded me of my parents. Están tocando la canción que les gusta. And I play it for them, So it was like, I got to, meet these like artists and do these awesome things and just meet people. And that was like one of the most fun summers because I wasn't even 21 yet. I'm like, imagine when I'm 21, how cool life is going to be. So I think it was one of my most fun summers, just in work-wise, because I got promoted to bartender immediately. And you also get to get some tips from the waitresses. So, I made some bank that week, that summer too.
That is awesome, Vero. That seems like the coolest summer job. Ceci, I don't know if you can top that.
Oh my God, I don't think so. But when Vero mentioned, you mentioned 2 things that brought up like core memories. One, the place where you used to work at when we got pepper sprayed, that at the hermana party, remember that? So that came up, and then my mind totally like erased the car show. I don't remember where I was at, but I remember like I was on my period and I had like really, really bad cramps to the point that I felt nauseous, and I've never felt like that. Like I just remember that like I had to go home like early from the show. But where was that at?
It was across.
Where was the car show?
Across from the Rexon. We had it in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
We had it in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And we had all the cars out there and all that stuff. So yeah. That was a while back. Yeah, that was like our first year.
I remember I remember walking back home and I was like, I guess we were close enough. Yeah, I don't think I can top that. So, yeah, I don't think I can top that. I remember summers in high school and even in college working at that time was like my dentist office, and it was like a dentist office in Hayward, right? That I worked for every year in the summer, and then in college, working on like a random weekend, Saturday or like on a Sunday when it was closed. And I used to go and like enter, I don't even know what it was, but I remember I used to plug in like codes, I guess, for the insurance to get billed. And I remember like one summer and while I was in college, and it was like, the years that we used to party and whatnot. And I remember being so hungover one Sunday that I had to go, and I went, and then I went in the back, pulled out like a little futon, y me quedé bien dormida, and I didn't work. No one was there.
Oh my God, that's the best.
Yeah. That's a great story. That sounds like a great way to get paid. Dormidita, just enjoying your best life.
Yeah.
My favorite summer job was at a camp. We talked about that, I think, on the podcast. We've talked about it. But I had a summer job after college, after I studied abroad, and I needed to pay that debt. And yeah, I loved like being the 6th grade camp counselor. The gold team got me started in my nonprofit life, but that was a fun job. I got paid to like hang out with 6th graders. I think they were the funnest group of kids. Such a fun time. Like clearly all of us, they were good jobs when we were young. Our favorite jobs were those jobs we had when we were young and kind of carefree, but you can really have a favorite job at any point, and I mean it. I'm not just saying that. Like, really, we hope that if you haven't found your dream job, like, use this summer to get out of that hellish job. Not everybody's in a place where they can be thinking about their reviews or, you know, stepping up because someone's stepping down. Like, some of you are just like desperate to get out of where you are, and we hope that this inspires you to do it today, do it now. Like, the best thing to do with your summer, if you're ready to move on, is to do something every day, just a little something every day. One application, one call, one career fair, one thing on Zoom, something every day to work towards getting the job that you want, so that you can have these fun stories of getting promoted as a bartender, working with kids, getting paid to sleep, whatever the job may be. But we hope that you find that career satisfaction, and that this summer we have made your career fun, that you've snuck in these episodes during the summer, that you've listened to us and our adventures and everything we have to share. This is going to be the end of our summer series. You'll go back to our regular programming and longer episodes on the next episode next week. But it's been a pleasure. It's been fun. Nuestras locuras. To my co-host, las quiero un chingo. This has been a really good time.
Same, this girl.
Thank you for being the co-host with the mostest, the hostess with the mostest. Instagram and Facebook at Level Up Latina is our handle there. And you can email us, admin@leveluplatina.com. Find us on Twitter at Latina_up. And our Breakthrough Brunch. This is a really fun way to blow up your career this summer by networking, by being in living color with 3 amazing women putting on a killer event last year. Women loved this event. It's going to be outdoorsy, fun, exciting. There's always surprises. There's always giveaways. There's always empowerment. There's always community, sisterhood, togetherness. And it's what the summer's all about. So save the date for that. Get information at this point, hopefully by now, on our website. It's been fun. Anything else before we wrap this last episode of the summer series?
No, thank you. Hopefully you're having a fun and safe summer. And that if you haven't had your vacation yet, enjoy it.
Yes. Enjoy those vacations that are coming. And for those that have had it, we hope that you have been safe and sound. And until then, have a great night. Lávense la colita, as I would say. And don't forget to level up.
Level up.